Hello, everybody. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Oh, welcome to 2024. As Counting Crows put it, maybe this year will be better than the last. So, hopefully, everybody's having a good New Year's Day thus far. We're just, of course, giving people a chance to come in. I hope you've all had a good day. I know some parts of the country are probably enjoying some of the celebratory parades and, of course, the college football bowl games. Um, but we're here preparing to talk about, of course, niche news and topics. As I said, we're just waiting a few minutes to give people a chance to drop in. So if you haven't already, if you can, of course, like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if if you have if anything catches your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So we're just, of course, waiting to see if we can get some more people in here. Sure, everybody, had a nice, fun time last night. So hopefully, hopefully people didn't get too crazy and get themselves hurt or anything like that. But aside from that, of course, we're just welcome to 2024. We're just let's see, 2.5 minutes. Been a long December, and I'm ready to believe that maybe this year will be better than the last. By counting, long December by Counting Crows there. Um, all credit to them, of course. Um, I'm just a fan singing the song. That's it. Let's see. Okay, so now we're at 3 minute mark. So let's talk about what's on tap for tonight. So as we get ready to start off the year 2024 here, um, tonight we're going to be looking at a couple of anime slash manga stories that happened over the weekend. Of course, from last week, um, prior to the turning of the year, of course, I was looking over. So Shueisha is looking to trademark the Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Filing suggests plans for new non-mobile video game based on Tide Kubo's popular shonen series. That plus um, another live action adaptation of an anime, um, Kingdom 4: Return of the General. Kingdom is a pretty long running manga based on with the setting in Warring States China. It talks about how it covers the period from when China went from their Warring States period into becoming a nation. I've watched the anime; it's a pretty good anime. So those are two stories we're going to be looking at, plus of course a wrestling wrap up, and then then at the very end, of course, this day in each history. This, of course, now that we're into 2024, the starting points, of course, are changing. In terms of our years, on the comic side of it, starting point will be 1934. Um, for wrestling, will be 1949. The starting point for animation or cartoons will be 1924, and the starting point for anime will be 1964. So that's pretty much what's going on. We're now in the 5 minute mark, so why don't we go ahead get started with the material here? Let me just pull up the. And of course, I do keep these up, so you can always catch them on replay. But it's always better to catch them live, and that way you can interact. You get questions answered if you have them. Everything's a lot more fresher when it's live. Well, anyways, let's get into this. Check one more thing here before I. Okay. All right. So with that, let's get into this. Okay. Alrighty then. All right. So Shueisha trademarks title Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Filing suggests plans for new non-mobile video game based on Tide Kubo's popular shonen series. Article by Spencer McCooley, published December 27th, 2023, which of course was last Wednesday, actually. So here we go. Almost a full week ago, 5 days ago here. So let's get into this. In a late Christmas present to the many worldwide fans of Tide Kubo's seminal shonen story, a recent trademark filing from series publisher Shueisha has ostensibly revealed that a brand new and proper, i.e., non-mobile, non-gacha, Bleach video game is currently in the works. For those of you who don't know, Bleach is of course it's one of the big three in Shonen Jump, along with of course One Piece and Dragon Ball. Bleach follows the story of Soul Reaper Ichigo Kurosaki as he, of course, follows his adventures as a Soul Reaper and follows the lives of the members of the Soul Society. Those spirits are called Shinigami in Japanese. Those spirits that carry those from the living to the dead once they've passed on. So let's continue on with the article here. So this hint towards the potential next outing for Ichigo and crew was first brought to public attention on December 27th via courtesy of Twitter user at Kirakasis. Performing a search of the European Union Intellectual Property Office database, Kirakasis discovered that earlier that same day, Shueisha had filed an individual trademark request for the name Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I guess here's a tweet right here. And though the filing itself gave little information regarding the project's actual contents, its nice classifications named after its niche classifications named after the city of Nice, France, where it was first negotiated, said ratings serve as, quote, an international classification of goods and services applied for the registration of marks, unquote, provides a small bit of illumination to that regard.
By the message.
Yeah.
Woke ideology, the idea that
All right. Given the niche classifications of, I guess, 9-inch and 9 and 41, which respectively cover audio, quote, audiovisual and information technology equipment, unquote, and, quote, services having the basic aim of the entertainment, amusement, and recreation of people, unquote. It appears that the project were labeled as such due to its involving of, quote, computer software for entertainment, unquote, and the, quote, providing of video games, computer games, sound, music, images, animation, or movies through telecommunication or computer networks. So, in other words, basically, even though there wasn't much information, there was enough information there that basically made it clear that they were doing something having to do with an audio visual medium like television or gaming or what have you. And then and then the machinations of such. There's Ichigo again, who is in the Japanese whose voice in the Japanese provided by Masakazu Morita. And Senjumaru's, whose voice is provided by Rina Sato. Of course, Studio Pero is the company that animates the anime, that produces the anime for Bleach. So let's see if anybody's in here yet. Nope, not yet. But hopefully, as I said, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. And if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to take a look. That would be appreciated. And as I always encourage your interest in the material by encouraging you to ask questions and comment on it. Start up conversations about it. So, anyways, back to the article here. However, while some may be quick to write off this reveal as yet another cheap mobile game, and understandably so, given Shueisha's recent turn to giving nearly every one of their popular properties their own exploitively monetized phone app, it should be noted that said niche classifications actually provide evidence to the contrary, as seen in the respective trademark filings for such actual Shueisha mobile games as Bleach Brave Souls and Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Though these titles likewise received the same niche classification as Rebirth of Souls, the individual provisions under which they were respectively granted are those involving, quote, video game programs for mobile phones, unquote, and, quote, the provisions of online computer games and video games using communication provided through mobile phones and computer networks. So the previous properties that got niche classifications were more for specific genre, specific type of gaming, revolving around mobile phones. I think this latest rebirth of Souls, that classification seemed to be a little bit broader in nature. So, continuing on here, let's see. We just finished reading that. And I guess there's a character we haven't met yet, Candace Catnip. Interesting name. Conversely, Rebirth of Souls did not fall under such provisions, instead being given the same appraisal as such other full-fledged Shueisha titles, One Piece Odyssey and the upcoming Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero. Is that supposed to be even better than Zero? I don't know. In lending further credence to the theory that players will soon be able to jump back into the world of Bleach via their PCs or consoles, Kubo himself has previously teased that a new video game project based on his work may be in the works. Go again. Speaking of fans via his own Japanese exclusive club outside, personal fan club, in the lead up to the premiere of Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War, translated via fanverse.org, moderator M. Shadows, in parentheses there, Kubo was asked, quote, will there be a new Bleach game launched once the anime starts? There hasn't been one since, in bracket there, 2011's Soul Ignition, in brackets, released internationally under the title Soul Resurrection, unbracketed. I'm talking about a proper console game, not a mobile one, unquote. In turn, the mangaka cheekily asserted, quote, I think I might have heard something like that from a manager, unquote. As of writing, neither Shueisha, Kubo, nor any other related party have yet to give any official response to the discovery of the trademark family. And of course, just to let like a lot of my anime fans know, we're into January, of course, so many of you may already know this, but we're now getting into the winter release season here, where we'll probably be hearing about a bunch of anime releases coming out in the next couple weeks here. So be ready for those for my anime fans. Oh, that was it for that article. Then we went cut that one kind of quickly. So let's see now. I'll get to the next article. All right. All right. So, anyways, let's get ready to move on to the next article. We're gonna wanna. All right. So here we go with the next article here. Just make sure y'all got that. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Okay. Let's look into this. From the manga movie section, Kingdom 4 Return of the General, live action film, readies for war with new teaser trailer, Japanese release date confirmation. Article by Nerdigans Inc., published December 30th, 2023, which of course was this past Saturday. But we haven't even reached a point where we're writing stories yet for this year yet. Because this is the final story from this site. So, anyways, let's get into this. In continuing to stand as the prime contrary example to the popular belief regarding manga's inability to be successfully adapted to live action, following its predecessor's domination at the Japanese box office, Toho has officially disclosed their war plans for their fourth film adaptation of Yasuhisa Hara's Kingdom. Again, I watch the anime. It's a good anime. It should promise to be a really good movie. See. Okay. Set during China's Warring States period, roughly around 476 to 221 BCE, or before Christ. I don't know what the E stands for now, but anyways, before Christ era, I guess. Yasuhisa Hara's award-winning manga follows the journey of Shin, who in the when the movie here is portrayed by Kento Yamazaki, who portrayed Saichi Sugimoto in the live-action Golden Kamuy film, a young war orphan who dedicates himself to becoming one of the Qin dynasty's great generals of the heavens. In order to achieve this dream, Shin soon finds himself in the employ of Qin's young emperor, Eisei, who is portrayed by Yoshizawa Ryo, who portrayed Manjiro Mikey Sano in the Tokyo Revengers live-action film series, and tasked with helping his liege complete his own goal, the total unification of China. Now, liege means, of course, ruler or master, one you serve. A bevy of new information, including related to the Chinese War Seinen series. Next entry was first revealed by Toho on December 12th via a brand new teaser trailer posted to the studio's official YouTube page.
Spencer Bakuli lays out.
All right, so as seen in the trailer, The Return of the General, the live-action Kingdom series, will close out its theatrical adaptation of the Qin's all-out battle against the Zhao, as depicted in the manga's Battle of Bayou arc. Further, the teaser also confirmed that Shin's next campaign would hit theaters on July 12th, 2024. So basically 6 months, a little over 6 months from now, almost 6.5 months, a little under 6.5 months. So here's some of the art pieces from the manga. Let's see. All right, so Return of the General's production team will continue to be helmed by director Shinsuke Sato, in parentheses, Netflix's upcoming live-action My Hero Academia film, with Tsutomu Iwa, One Piece film Red, and the aforementioned series creator Yasuhisa Hara teaming up to pen the script. In response to the latest announcement, Sato and Hara revealed what fans could expect to see in Return of the General, translated via Deepel. Quote, Kingdom 4, Return of the Great General, will be released in theaters on July 12, 2024, unquote, Sato declared. Quote, the new ordeal unleashed by the previous film, The Flame of Destiny, will run its course with a furious climax, and the secret battle of the generals is finally revealed. This is truly the climax of the entire film. Please enjoy it next summer, unquote. This summer, more like it, but anyways. Let's see. Likewise, Hara announced, quote, the fourth installment of the movie series, Kingdom 4, Return of the Great General, will be released next summer. Those of you who have seen the previous film, The Flame of Destiny, may already be wondering, but the climax of the Battle of Bayou, in smaller quotes there, will finally be depicted. I don't even know if even the anime got that far. But anyways. Let's see now. Quote, it is a film that will probably be surrounded by great emotion that will remain in the history of the Japanese cinema, unquote, the mangaka added. Quote, I too will never forget the images I saw in the rush before editing. Please wait with anticipation until the summer of 2024, unquote. Japanese are such a gracious people. They're very appreciative of their fans. And I'm sure their fans across the globe, from Japan all the way here to America, appreciate the time and effort they put into their material. At the time of this article's writing, the live action adaptation first two outings, Kingdom and Kingdom 2 Far Away, are currently available to stream on Netflix. So if you want to catch the first couple of films, I guess you go to Netflix to catch them. And while Kingdom 3, The Flame of Destiny, is available to purchase digitally, dedicated fans may want for the may want to wait. Okay, again a little editing error here. They forgot a couple words there. Want to wait for the January 10th release of the film's special edition Blu-ray, which is set to include over 3 hours of exclusive bonus footage. As noted above, Kingdom 4, Return of the Great General, marches into Japanese theaters on July the 12th. Alrighty then, so there we go with that one. Let's see where are we at on time here. Let's see, 27 minutes. I think we can probably, I can try to find, let's see. I don't think there's anything more here. I think there's anything more here. Yeah, we pretty much. Well, I'm gonna go over to Bleeding Full real quick and see if maybe there's anything over there that we can shoot off in a quick few minutes here. Let's see. Unlike all right, let's get into some more stuff that's a little more thick here. Let's see real quick if there is anything of note. And yeah, really too much note, I guess. All right. Well, anyways, yeah. So it looks like. Oh, hey there, Jr. Hail Xenu, Xena. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, my friend. So you just missed the two articles I was doing tonight. Granted, they were more anime manga related than anything else. But Happy New Year. As I said earlier, maybe this year will be better than the last. as Counting Crows would put it. Let's see. Because I could go back to Bounding in the Comics one more time just to see if there's anything of note there. Maybe be a bit more specific and trying to see what I can find. Okay. The last. Fast. Yeah. Now, of course, there's probably not a whole lot of probably not a whole lot. I mean, with it being New Year's weekend, of course, that's why there wouldn't probably be a whole lot of new stuff coming out right now. But I guess then we can now move on then to probably move on to the wrestling wrap up. As there was a pay-per-view on Saturday, World's End, and some interesting stories came out of it. On the pre-show 0 hour, and we're starting with AEW instead of, I normally start with WWE, but there are some stories in AEW that originate AEW that are actually going to lead into some potential news for the WWE. That's why we're covering AEW first, even though normally I cover World Wrestling, WWE first. So let's look at. Let me talk a little bit here about stuff that happened over the weekend here. So as I said on the 0 hour pre-show for the pay-per-view for the World End pay-per-view, Will Nightingale defeat Chris Statlander in a one-on-one match to get the show started. Now I should see. Yeah. All right. Also, in a match where the winner would earn the right to challenge whoever the TNT champion would be at the end of the night, anytime, anywhere battle royal, Killswitch, formerly known as Luchasaurus, outlasted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 other competitors. So in a 20-man battle royal, Killswitch outlasted 19 other individuals to earn the right to challenge whoever would win the TNT title at the end of the night between the defending champion Christian and Adam Copeland. And then in an FTW rules match, Hook retained the FTW title over Ring of Honor pure champion Wheeler Yuta. So that's the pre-show. The news from the pre-show. Now moving on to the move on to the main show, as it were. The main part of the pay-per-view. World's End pay-per-view. The World's End pay-per-view saw in the opening bout the first of 2 8-man tag matches as 8 of the 12 competitors in the Continental Classic got together for the first match of the evening to open up as the Blackpool Combat Club members of Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli teamed with Daniel Garcia and Mark Briscoe to defeat the four-man team of Brody King, Jay Lethal, Jay White, and Roosh. Miro defeated Andrade El Idolo, and this is one of the stories I was talking about that would lead into it. So this apparently what was Andrade's final match with AEW. The finish saw CJ Perry turn on him to cover, and as was sometimes is traditionally the case, when somebody knows they're leaving, they will basically do business for the person that they're. So on the way out, Andrade put over Miro on his way out. Now there's speculation. There's been speculation. Andrade, of course, now with his contract up with AEW, there's been a lot of talk about where he might end up. Some are saying he might go back down to Mexico to wrestle for CMLL, Consejo Mundo de Lucha Libre. There's also a possibility, there's been some talk he might pull a somewhat similar situation to what happened with Rick Rude back in the 90s, where Rick Rude was on 2 shows at once. Now, this, of course, not going to necessarily be the case, but, basically showing up right after leaving one company to go to another. There's also some rumors that Andrade might actually show up on tonight's Raw Day 1 show in WWE. He might return to the WWE, joining his current wife, Charlotte Flair, of course, who's out injured. We can talk a little bit more about that a little later here. So Miro defeated Andrade as Andrade was on his way out to doing business for Miro to help put Miro over as he was leaving. Toni Storm retained the AEW Women's World title over Riho. Riho, of course, the inaugural Women's World title. They're really trying to help Toni Storm get over more with this new timeless Toni Storm character, where she's kind of acting more old class, old fashioned. In a match that was originally scheduled to be Swerve Strickland versus Keith Lee, in terms of Keith Lee trying to settle his issues with Swerve after having been taken out for a few months by Swerve, when Swerve basically broke a cinder block on Keith Lee. Keith Lee, unfortunately, was not medically cleared to wrestle on Saturday. So taking his place was Dustin Rhodes. As Dustin, is on kind of his retirement tour, he kind of filled in. Still looked good in the match with the injury angle, but in another match in terms of trying to put one of the younger talents over, Swerve Strickland would defeat Dustin Rhodes to give him a little more cred. In the second of the 2 8-man tag matches that was having last night, the team known as Les Sex Gods of Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho teamed with Darby Allin and Sting to defeat 2 members of the Don Callis family of Powerhouse Hobbs and Konosuke Takeshita, along with AEW World Tag Team Champions Big Bill and Ricky Starks. This could potentially develop into potentially turn into some interesting feuds here. Jericho possibly having Sammy replace Kenny Omega to get a shot at the tag titles, but something tells me that Starks will probably try to pull the old. Well, no, the contract says it has to be the Golden Jets, aka Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. So we'll see how that story develops over time here. In a match for the AEW TBS title, Julia Hart retained against Abaddon in a battle of two spooky girls, as it were. And in a situation that was set up earlier in the night, so the night was only going to have one TNT matchup, a no disqualification match between the champion Christian Cage, who was defending the TNT title against Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge. Copeland actually won the match and became the champion. However, as we saw earlier in the evening on the 0-hour pre-show, man formerly known as Luchasaurus, known now as Killswitch, had won a contract winning the right to challenge whoever the TNT champion was anytime, anywhere, kind of a money in the bank situation there, for the TNT title. Once again, everybody's favorite jerk, Christian Cage, got Killswitch to give him the contract, and Christian Cage decided to, call in the challenge, and had defeated Adam Copeland to regain the TNT title in 12 seconds. Not a big fan of the booking. I think I think we should have put it on Edge and kept it on Edge. None of this, But then again, I know a lot of people had criticisms of how Tony Khan books things certain ways. But some people are gonna argue, well, the fact that people hate Christian so much, and when he succeeds like this, or when he doesn't get screwed over, that's just more heat. Great, but it's still maybe it's just me being more old school about it. But the TNT title changed hands twice in one night, and then the penultimate match of the night in the finals of the tournament to crown not only the first Continental Classic champion, but also to crown a new Triple Crown championship. In this case, this Triple Crown will be made up of AEW's Continental title, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight title, and Ring of Honor World title. Of course, Eddie Kingston coming into the tournament as the Strong Openweight and the Ring of Honor World title holder, putting those belts up on the line as well to form this Triple Crown. Eddie Kingston would defeat Jon Moxley 17-16 to become the first Triple Crown winner in AEW history in terms of this specific Triple Crown title. He'd become the first AEW Continental title holder, as well as retaining the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight and Ring of Honor World title, combining these three titles to form AEW's Triple Crown. And in the main event of the night, Samoa Joe would defeat MJF to become the new AEW World title holder. During the match, or after the match, it was revealed that the devil who had been plaguing MJF for the last few months here was his former brochacho, Adam Cole. And the members of this new faction include, of course, the guys formerly known as the Kingdom, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, Roderick Strong, and Wardlow. So in essence, what you have here is the reforming, with maybe some little changes here and there, of Adam Cole's Kingdom stable that he had in Ring of Honor, with him, Roderick Strong, and now Taven and Bennett being in there, as well as now as Wardlow. And of course, now the one thing I don't understand about this with Wardlow is a good enough athlete. He was kind of the muscle for MJF's factions. He he went all out, and then eventually would beat MJF to become his own man. Now he's gone back to being somebody else's man again. I mean, I just don't get it. I really don't. But that's just my thoughts on it. So, anyways, with all that being said on the AEW stuff, you know, now we'll move on to the WWE stuff. Actually, there is one other thing I do have to mention from AEW here. Of course, MJF. Now MJF's picture. Now we talked earlier about how this was Andrade El Idolo's last match in AEW. Now things are still unclear about MJF's status in AEW. There's some who made mention that he may have signed already or re-signed with AEW. But then there's other evidence that seems to point maybe he didn't, because I guess today it was reported today by WrestleMania that his profile was removed from the AEW roster page. Which might indicate that he might actually be leaving AEW. Now, this could be a work, could be something where they're basically just working the fans over, keeping the suspense up. Now, it was also reported that MJF was needing to take some time off to basically nurse some, get over some nagging injuries that he'd had, and he'd be that was believed what's believed is going on is he may be taking some time off to heal those injuries. But moving forward, we'll see what's going to happen with that. Let me see now. Now, getting on to the WWE news, as it were. Of course, tonight, Monday Night Raw is, of course, an event they've been having the last few years on the first of the year called Day One. And we'll probably talk a bit about what happened on tonight's episode, of course. The main event for tonight's show will see Seth Rollins defending the WWE World Heavyweight title against Drew McIntyre. Rhea Ripley will be defending the Women's World title against Ivy Nile. Some of the other matches include Natalya and Tegan Knox taking on Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. The team known as Awesome Truth of R-Truth and The Miz taking on the Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough, with R-Truth trying to impress the Judgment Day to allow him to become group. You have Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium taking on Jey Uso and Kofi Kingston. And then the night is going to be opening up with Becky Lynch taking on Nia Jax. Now, it's also been rumored here. That possibly Andrade, who had his last match in AEW this past Saturday, that either him and or maybe Batista may be making their return to WWE tonight on Day One. Now, we probably won't know until tomorrow. Some of you may already know, if those are on the maybe East Coast. Maybe you're watching it right now as we're talking, but it has been rumored that Andrade and or maybe Batista might be making their return. Also, and of course, this is Andrade, Andrade's wife, Charlotte Flair. This is coming off her possibly being out for the next 6 to 8 months as she hurt her knee recently towards the end of the year here, which is a bit disappointing because a lot of people were looking forward to a possible match between her and Bianca Belair coming up at WrestleMania. But now with her knee injury, she may be out for a while. Let's see. So, other news. Liv Morgan, who's been out of action for a while, has gotten herself into some legal troubles. She was recently arrested in Florida on drug possession charges, where during a traffic stop there was some marijuana and some other drug paraphernalia found in her car. However, because other people are driving in it, she's claiming that it wasn't hers. It wasn't hers, but because it was her car, because she was driving it, she was the one caught with it. So, that's a developing story. With that, that's all I have. And of course, tonight's Raw is coming from the Pachanga Arena in San Diego, California. So with that, now that we got all that out of the way, today being January 1st, 2024, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche's history. History! Let me see that. All right. So, anyways, today being January 1st, 2024, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche's history. History! So, first off, I'm going to head back 90 years ago today. As on this date, 90 years ago today, Walter Lantz Productions' Chicken Reel, which was, of course, an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit short, premiered in movie theaters on this date in 1934. So 90 years ago today, the Walter Lantz Productions Universal Pictures distributed Chicken Reel, an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoon, premiered in movie theaters on this date 90 years ago today. So now moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history. Moving ahead 10 years to 1944. On this date in 1944, on New Year's Day 1944, which is 80 years ago today, the 10th issue of Cuckoo Comics from Standard went on sale on this date in 1944. Sold for 10 cents, was 56 pages. So on this date, 80 years ago today, Cuckoo Comics, number 10, the 10th issue of Cuckoo Comics, went on sale on this date in 1944. So with that, moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history. And move ahead to 1974, which is 50 years ago today. Approximately on this date in 1974, 50 years ago today, Johnny Valentine is awarded the NWA Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship when previous holder Jerry Briscoe is unable to defend the title due to being on tour in Japan. Now, mind you, this is still a time when the 30-day defense rule was still heavily enforced, which meant that when you were in the territories, you could hold on to a title as long as you could, defend it every 30 days. Now, since Jerry Briscoe had embarked on a Japanese tour around this time, he had to vacate the title, and it was awarded to Johnny Valentine approximately on this date back 50 years ago today. And finally, on this date 15 years ago today, 2009, on this date in 2009, the Kiro chapter of the Shikabane Hime anime premiered on Japanese TV on this date in 2009. So, 15 years ago, Feel and Gainax's Shikabane Hime Kiro chapter premiered on Japanese TV on this date back in 2009. So with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow with more niche news. Also, this Friday, of course, we will be we'll be taking another trip down Comic History Lane, as we'll be going back to January 1940, looking at books that went on sale from Centaur Comics. Tim Olson will be my co-host, as we'll be looking over such features as Speed Centaur, Phantom of the Fair, Dean Denton Science Detective, Mini Midget, and Mighty Man. So, hope you guys will be back here tomorrow and every night as we continue our look at niche content. With that, I thank you all for being here tonight, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye.